All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about a book that's, well, it's more than a book, isn't it? It's an entire universe, a true literary titan. Of course, I'm talking about J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings.
So, here's the big question. The one that people have been asking for decades. How on earth did this one single story become the absolute blueprint for pretty much all modern fantasy? How did it capture the hearts and minds of millions, and still does?
Think of it like peeling an onion. Seriously, we're going to start on the surface with the quest that everybody knows. Then we'll peel back a layer to look at the incredible world building. After that, we go deeper into the characters that make it all tick. And finally, we get to the very core, the deep, powerful themes that make this story, well, timeless.
Okay, first things first. We have to get our heads around just how huge this thing was. Before The Lord of the Rings, fantasy? It was kind of seen as, kids stuff, fairy tales. But this book changed the entire game. It was a seismic event in literature. No exaggeration.
And this quote, this really gets to the heart of it. It's not just a fantasy novel, it's a foundational text. It single-handedly elevated the entire genre from just simple stories to a powerful way to explore really serious, complex human ideas.
And to really get the book, you gotta get the guy who wrote it. J.R.R. Tolkien wasn't just some storyteller. He was a brilliant professor, a scholar of ancient languages and myths, and he saw the absolute horrors of World War I up close. He poured all of that, his academic brain and his real-world trauma with war, into this massive vision. His goal? To create a true mythology for England, one that could tackle these huge, timeless ideas about power, corruption, and how good somehow manages to endure.
All right, time to peel back that first layer, the quest. On the surface, it sounds so simple, right? It's just an impossible journey to destroy one very, very powerful and very evil little thing.
And at the heart of it all, you've got the One Ring. Now, this is not just some piece of magic jewelry. It is the ultimate symbol of power, and more importantly, how that power corrupts absolutely. The whole story just orbits around this thing, its tempting pull, and the awful price you pay for holding it.
So the mission, as huge as it is, really breaks down into 3 steps. Step 1, get a team together, the Fellowship, to protect the guy carrying the ring. Step 2, trek across the entire world into the enemy's backyard, Mordor. And finally, the big one, destroy the ring in the fires of Mount Doom, the exact place where it was made. Sounds simple, right? Yeah, simple in theory, but pretty much impossible in practice.
Okay, but a quest like that can't happen in a vacuum. It needs an epic world to play out in. So let's peel back that next layer, and what we find is Middle-earth. I mean, this might just be the most completely, fully realized fantasy world ever imagined.
And see, this level of detail is what makes Tolkien, well, Tolkien. He wasn't just writing a story. He was a historian for a world that didn't exist. We're talking detailed maps, crazy complex family trees, and, get this, fully functional invented languages like Elvish. It all makes Middle-earth feel less like a stage for the story and more like a real, ancient place that has its own deep, long history. He even used the geography of the world to tell the story. Think about it. You've got the Shire, right? It's all about peace, simplicity, natural goodness. And then you have its polar opposite, Mordor, a land of fire, ash, and this sort of industrialized evil. Remember, Tolkien saw the mechanized slaughter of World War I, so he packed all the horrors of the factory and the battlefield into Mordor. The land itself is telling you who the good guys and bad guys are.
But you can have the best world ever, and it's still empty without people you care about. So let's go even deeper now, to what I think is the true heart of the story, the characters. The actual fellowship of individuals who push this whole thing forward.
So let's start with our hero, Frodo Baggins. And right away, he's not your typical hero. He's not some muscle-bound warrior. He's a small, quiet hobbit. His superpower isn't strength, it's compassion and this incredible resilience. His real fight isn't with orcs and trolls, it's inside his own head, a battle of will against the ring's poison. And let's be honest, Frodo wouldn't have made it 2 steps without Samwise Gamgee. So many people argue that Sam is the real hero of the story. And you can see why. He is the loyal, beating heart of this entire epic. He's proof of the incredible power you can find in just simple friendship and the goodness of ordinary folks.
Then you've got Aragorn. He's kind of the more traditional hero, the reluctant king, right? But even his story is twisted. His journey isn't about grabbing power or glory. It's about him fighting his own self-doubt so he can finally step up and accept his destiny, not for himself, but to serve everyone else.
And the complexity just keeps going. You've got Gandalf, a being of immense power who's terrified of actually using it. You've got Boromir, a good man, a noble man, who falls to the ring's temptation. He's a warning that even the best intentions can be twisted. And then there's Gollum, a tragic, horrifying mirror of what Frodo himself could become. See, every single character is there to show us a different side of the story's big idea.
Okay, we've peeled back the layers. We've seen the quest, the world, the characters. Now we're at the very core of the onion. The big question. What is it about this story, written back in the 1950s, that makes it still feel so powerful, so relevant today?
It really comes down to these absolutely timeless themes. You've got the corrupting nature of power, perfectly symbolized by the One Ring. You've got the incredible strength of friendship and unity, shown by the Fellowship. And maybe the most important one of all, the idea that hope can survive even in the absolute darkest of times. I mean, that's what Frodo and Sam's journey is all about.
And its legacy? Wow, it's almost impossible to overstate. It is literally the blueprint for modern fantasy. It inspired countless authors, filmmakers, game designers, you name it. Then Peter Jackson's films came along and introduced it to a whole new generation. And it's not just pop culture. The books are still seriously studied at universities, which just goes to show you their incredible depth.
So if there's one thing, just one thing you take away from all this, it should be this powerful central idea, that even the smallest individual can change the course of the future. It's this incredible message of hope about how one person's courage can stand up against seemingly impossible odds.
And that leaves us with one final thing to think about. Because The Lord of the Rings didn't just create a fantasy world, it actually had an impact on our world. It really makes you wonder, right? What is that magic ingredient, that perfect mix of myth, character, and meaning that gives a simple story the power to actually change the world?